Hello. Welcome to the Power of the BI. Welcome to the Power of the BI, powerofthebi.com. I am Terod Robertson. I am the lead instructor with the Power of the BI, and I just want to welcome you to live session number one. There's going to be several live sessions over the next few months. We're going to have several live sessions. Actually, we'll have one live session per week. We'll have one live session per week. We'll be scheduled for 1 hour, but we're not necessarily going to take a whole hour if we don't need to. We will definitely not take a whole hour if we don't need to. The purpose of the live sessions will be to, one, go over, homework or assignment questions, go over any answers or questions or answers that you may have come up, that may have come up over the past week or so. The live sessions are definitely not going to be mandatory. This is not a mandatory deal. We are all adults here. This is not a mandatory deal. I would like to request one thing. I'm not going to make it mandatory, but I would like to request one thing, and that is, if you join the live session, that you join the live session live. One thing that I really don't want to do over the next few months is to talk to the camera, talk to myself. I really want to feel like I'm talking and interacting with our students. So if you decide to log into our live sessions, please, if you don't mind, please turn on your cameras. Okay, please turn on your cameras. And it's several reasons. It's a couple of different reasons for that. One is, again, it helps me not to feel as if I'm just talking to a camera or talking to a wall. And two, it also allows us to build an interactive presentation as others may be looking at this video in the future. They can see that we actually have, real people, and it's not just make-believe land out here that are showing up with circles with initials inside of the name. So the first reason is, one, I like to speak to live individuals, real people, and not just talk to the camera. Two is so that it can help future classes use this as a resource, so that they're not having to, again, feel as if we're just out here just making up circles with initials and putting one on the camera. But the third most important reason is this: in this particular day of interviewing, a lot of the jobs that we interview for today in this industry, in the technology industry, business intelligence, artificial intelligence, data engineering, most of our interviews begin off with a live interview. It begins with a live interview. So when I say it begins with a live interview, it's a Zoom recording or some type of live interview over the computer, over your phone maybe. And this helps us build some practice in interacting online when it comes to interviews. And we'll talk more about interviews later down the line. We'll talk about more about interviews later down the line, because right now what we want to do is we want to focus in on what we're here for. And what we're here for is to learn a skill that will allow us to make pretty good money within a short period of time. And when I say pretty good money in a short period of time, I already know off top, you guys are not here so that you can make $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 an hour, $15 an hour, $20 an hour. Okay, we are looking at salaries that we're going to come in, starting in at senior level positions, and those positions we're going to start out making somewhere between $100,000 to $110,000 a year. Could be slightly less. It could be $80,000 to $95,000 a year. It could be slightly higher. It could be $115,000 to $120,000 a year. We'll talk salaries a little later in the course. I will show some proof of what I speak of, because I don't want to make you seem as if you've got to believe everything that I say. But we are going to talk career path, career trajectory, getting that job as we get deeper into the course. But right now, what we need to do, or what I'd like to do, is for us to really focus on how we can develop our skill set, and that skill set is of business intelligence. The business intelligence that we are going to learn in this course is called Power BI. It's a Microsoft tool. It's Power BI. BI is business intelligence, and it's the tool that many companies now are using for business intelligence. We'll get deeper into the definitions and all that kind of stuff in business intelligence, but just understand that business intelligence is very closely related to artificial intelligence, but it's not artificial intelligence, but there can be some play in artificial intelligence. And as you learn more about Power BI, you will understand exactly, or you'll get a better understanding of what I am speaking of. As you do more research, or as you click through, because now that you've heard of Power BI, you'll probably start seeing more on your computer pop up, or on your socials. It may pop up more now, given that you've heard about it and now you've identified with it. But and as you hear questions come up, or you get information that comes to you, or ideas that come to you, or things that may come to you in regards to business intelligence or Power BI, this is the time to bring that up in these particular sessions. This will be the time to bring that up and ask questions. There'll be a designated time for that. We won't spend the whole class period on it, but we will have a designated question and answering, getting to know more about the tool, the resource, and the technologies that are out there. Understand that Power BI is not the only tool that's out there. There's ClickView, there's Tableau. I've worked some in Tableau. I've not done anything in Click, but those are Power BI, Click, and Tableau are the three most dominant when it comes to business intelligence and visualizations. And when I say visualizations, that's what we're doing. We're going to be creating visualizations. We're going to be creating dashboards. So those are the three that you may want to take a look at. You may want to poke around and see what they really do. Some people have asked me, well, Tarai, you've got certain certifications. How do I get certifications in order to, get the same types of opportunities that you have received? So here's the deal. We will again, I don't want to just keep saying we will talk about certain things later, but we will. And, just understand that. But just to give you a very quick overview, I do have several certifications. I am actually certified, and all my certifications are with Microsoft. I do have a data engineering certification. I have a Power BI certification. I have a Microsoft Fabric certification, a data analyst certification, an artificial intelligence developer, artificial intelligence something, I don't know, certification. With that said, you don't have to have a certification. You don't have to have certifications. I'll say it again. You do not have to have certifications. You can make six figures in this industry relatively quickly without certifications. Now, I got certifications because of overkill. I want to know just a little bit more. I want to do just a little bit more. But I'm going to tell you right now, a certification only means one of three things. Either you are a good test taker, or you studied hard to pass the test, or someone gave you the answers, right? At the end of the day, that's what a test is, right? Even in school, whether it's high school, college, elementary school, either you are a good test taker, or you study real hard to pass the test, or someone gave you the answers. But it does not mean that you know the industry, or it doesn't mean that you know the skill set, right? Now, let me back up. Let me say this. It does help you get a better understanding of some of the technology, but there's no way the way that you learn Power BI, the way that you learn business intelligence is to do it. I'll say it again. The way to become good at Power BI is to do it. It's no ifs, ands, buts about it. You have to do it, right? So certifications are not going to lock you into a job. Now, if you're competing with a job against someone who is just as qualified as you are, and you have a certification and they don't, you'll probably get a job. If they have a certification and you don't, they'll probably get a job. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? So, but we'll talk certification. Certifications really come into play a little later in the course, as we get ready for career prep, job readiness, and we start moving into those conversations. So we'll talk certifications a little later. But if you have questions come up in the future, that's okay. So we've talked at Power BI. Just real quick, just a little bit about myself, just so that you will understand who I am, not what I am, but who I am and what I do. So I am a Power BI developer. I do work in the tech industry. Now this is not one of those I'm going to share my pay stub and get you all hyped about getting into the industry. Nah, this is not a sales pitch for me, right? This is for me. I feel obligated to help individuals get into this space, right? I feel obligated to help people get into this space because somebody helped me get into this space, right? I was not born into this space. I did not go to college for this space, and I have not been in this space career-wise my whole entire career, right? I've been in this space right at about 5 years, right? Legitimately, right at about 5 years. When I say legitimately, I mean I've dabbled and dabbled, but legitimately, I've been in this space about 5 years. Now, with that said, my career experience is not 5 years career experience. My career experience is probably somewhere around 25 years experience, right? Off top. Now, questions about that, we can talk about that a little later. And what I'm saying is that's not something that I made up. That's what I know. That's what those are the individuals that I compete against when I go for a job, when I'm applying for a job, right? And it's because I'm good at what I do, right? Solid, good at what I do. That's why I can teach you to do what I do, right? And I'm not afraid to teach you what I know and then turn you on to the same job and career opportunities that I'm being turned on to, because I can't do all the work. I can't take all the jobs. I can't have all the careers, and I can't meet all the necessities that the recruiters are hitting me up for when it comes to time. I just can't do it, right? Well, I'm not gonna say can't, because I hate saying can't, but I'm just not able to meet all those needs. So what am I doing? I'm replicating myself. I'm teaching you just as I went through a boot camp. I went through a boot camp similar to this, not this boot camp, because this is a boot camp that I pretty much created, but I went through a business intelligence boot camp. Now, you may say, well, what boot camp was that? I don't really want to give out the name of the boot camp. I think the boot camp is great because it helped change my life financially. But I don't give plugs. I don't give shameless. Well, I don't give plugs to just other businesses that I don't give plugs. And the reason why, not in this setting, is because I don't want you to feel as if you go out and then you take that same boot camp and then you say, hey, it did it for Tarot. It got Tarot where he is, so I want to do the same thing. That's not how this works, right? Now, what I will tell you is that boot camp was about a 16-week boot camp, and very similar to this boot camp, which is about a 16-week boot camp. Deal is, I think that boot camp may have been 12 weeks. Yeah, June, July, August, September. Yeah, I think it was 16 weeks. And this boot camp is scheduled to be 16 weeks. It's scheduled for 16 weeks as well. What I did was I felt a need, in order for me to be successful, that I needed to get through that boot camp as quick as possible. So, and get to the end goal. The end goal that was dangled out in front of us in our boot camp was $80,000, and I was like, yo, I got to get that money. So what I did was I went all in, like 10 10, 11 hours a day. I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, got myself together, probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock. I got online. I started going through the modules, and in, you know what, it was a 12-week boot camp because I finished it in 6 weeks and 2 days. So what I did was I went all in 10 to 11 hours a day for over 6 weeks. And that 12-week boot camp, I finished that 12-week boot camp in 6 weeks and 2 days. 6 weeks and 2 days, 6 weeks and 3 days. I think it was 6 weeks and 2 days. I wanted to finish it in half the time. It took me 2 to 3 days longer than what I wanted. I was kind of disappointed, but that's okay. This boot camp is scheduled to be it's scheduled for 16 weeks because I know that there were some things that I did on my own that allowed me to realize that this boot camp would to be good at to really understand what's going on in Power BI. It's going to take a certain number of concepts, take certain concepts of Power BI in order to really become proficient at Power BI. So that's why I've scheduled this over 16 weeks. But it can be done in 8. It can be done in 8. Actually, it may even be done in 4, 5, or 6 if you put the time in. But I do know that if you put the time in, it could be done in 8 weeks, and you could be, ready for, job readiness in 8 weeks. But 16 weeks. I mean, don't rush it. If you got other things going on, you got family, kids, dog, white picket fence. It's all good. 16 is scheduled for successful completion in 16 weeks. And if stuff happens, don't feel like I didn't complete it in my 16-week period. Stuff happens. I get it. So here's the deal. You'll have 2 additional months, which is another 8 weeks to complete it. So really at 6 months. So what I'm saying is, outside of this class, after this class is over at the 12-week mark, at the 16-week mark, you will be able to continue to log on for another 16 weeks to complete your modules. It's okay. Okay. That's enough of beating that dead horse. So, I think that's enough about me and the general overview of the class. So let's come over to the actual module section. Everything that you're going to need in this class is going to be able to be found here in the module, and typically it is going to be found in in the welcome section of the module. Typically it's going to be found in the welcome section of the module. What I mean by that is, and this is not allowing me to, I was looking at the module here and it's not allowing me to click inside the module as I am recording here. And it will, because I was looking at the wrong screen. There we go. So inside the module, what you are going to do is anytime you want to know what's going on, we're going to have a couple of things going on inside the modules. Primarily inside of the welcome section. This is where you're going to be able to log on and come into the module in your welcome module. And each week you can see that we have our Zoom schedules. So you're going to be able to log into the module and you're going to be able to see our Zoom schedules each week. You will see our Zoom schedules each week. Right now we're scheduled out from July 1st to August 26th, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So June 1st to August 26th. And what we are going to do, we're actually going to have more dates added later. So you're going to be able to come into your to the module, into the welcome section here, and you will be able to use each one of these links every week, right? Each one of these links every week. Now, if there is a change, there will be a red alert section added to the top of the module. It'll be a red alert section, and in the red alert section, it will tell you what the change has been in the class, what the change has been in the class. Now, what does that mean, Tarad? That means, for instance, at module right now, you are already in the course, and I am making updates. Right. As a matter of fact, this is the third. This is the third edit of the class that I've made in 8 weeks. Right. 6 weeks. This is the third edit of the entire class that I've made in 6 weeks, because every time I look at the course or look at a video that I've created for a different course, I'm like, that wasn't crispy enough. That wasn't crispy enough. So I kind of add a little bit more flavor. I do it again. I add a little bit more flavor to it. And I do it again. I add a little bit more flavor to it. And I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to add a little bit more flavor to it. Right? So in the welcome section, there's going to be a red alert section. And it's going to say, hey, red alert, module number 7. Module number 7. There has been a change. There has been an add to module number 7. Now, I can also take sections out of the modules. Hey, there's been a module deletion from module number 7 or number 8 or number 9, whatever the case may be. Whatever changes I make to the course, it's going to be called red alert. Whatever changes I make to the course, it's going to be called red alert, and that is to give you that is to give you a heads up that, hey, there has been a change, right? Because you may already be past number 7. You may already be past number 7. You don't have to go back and redo, or you don't have to go back and do what's in module number 7 now, because you've passed module number 7 already. But you may say, hey, I want to go back and look at what that was, because I want to make sure I'm up on that as well. Okay? This is not something to push the carrot down the road. No. If you already passed where that change was made at, you can keep going. But if you haven't passed where that change is at, it does become a prerequisite. Okay? Which leads me to the next thing. Prerequisites. Pretty much all of our classes are prerequisites. There's nothing that you can skip, right? Now you can let the video play, but there's nothing you can skip. So let's say I'm looking at module number 10 now. Module number 10, I have a lesson video where I will present the lesson. Okay, in every section I present the lesson, or one of the team players, one of the Power BI team players presents the lesson, right? Then we have a video that pretty much explains what we just talked about into not deeper, but explains to what we spoke about in the video, or what the class was about. Then we come back and we have an assignment. Every lesson has an assignment. So then you'll come to the assignment and you'll read through the assignment, and you'll do what this, and the assignment it'll tell you what to do. Create your first visual, customize your visual. It'll tell you what you need to do. Now, here's the deal. It also tells you to save your video, where to save your video. It'll tell you not the video, but your report. Save your report, publish your report. It'll give you step by step of what to do. But I just want to make it real clear that in every video, in every assignment, from the beginning to the end, in every assignment, part of the assignment is to copy make a copy in a doc and outline each description of what you do step by step. For instance, if it was to watch this class, screenshot it, copy and paste it. What did we talk about? What did we do? Right? Screenshot it, copy and paste it. What did we talk about? What did we do? save it, and you're gonna upload it and publish it to the homework section, and you'll see where the homework section is. But you want to do that in every lesson. You want to do that in every lesson. Two things. One, repeating what you do or creating notes of what you do is going to make you good at what you do in this particular industry. The second thing is building resource documents as you create your projects. When you get onto your jobs, creating these resource documents is going to allow you to have backup documentation when you create a report and then you submit a Word doc or a PDF with it. It's not mandatory. But I've been on plenty of projects to where the client says, hey, why didn't you do this? Well, based on your requirements, this is what you asked me to do. Now, our homework assignments, you can look at those as business requirements. That's what the company is asking you to do. So, your response to the client is based on the business requirements. This is what you asked me to do. And this is what I did. And they don't have to go back and play with the report and then they come back and tell you, well, take this out and take that out. No, here is the document. You can mark it up and tell me what you need. Tell me what you want changed or tell me what you want added, right? And then they can mark it up and they can send it back to you, and you can make your changes and your edits without having to talk to them 2 hours over the phone, 3 hours over the phone, trying to figure out, what they want, what they don't want, what they didn't say, but they said. No, here's the document. Let's do it. Let's rock and roll. So with that said, that's why we copy and paste all our documents, all of our assignments, give a step-by-step presentation of what you did, and upload it to the homework section. Every section in our homework section is a prerequisite, which means it can't be skipped. Well, I don't like saying can't. We don't want you to skip it. We want you to go through each one. Now we have some items. We have some sections in each module. In each module, there's an inspiration section where you get to see videos of people outside of this organization, but within other organizations that we follow on different socials. You get to see those videos and how these people have become successful doing what they do. Everyone is not in business intelligence, but everyone is in either tech or IT. There is a difference between tech and IT. We can talk about that difference later. Just understand we're in tech, we're not in IT. But those inspirations are powerful. You getting to see that these boot camps are real, and everyone in these boot camps that we're looking at are not affiliated with this boot camp, but they're affiliated with different boot camps, or they're affiliated with different organizations, and they have become successful pretty much in learning the same way that you're learning right now, but you're learning a different skill set. And I will put I'm not gonna say I will put money on it, but this is a great boot camp. We could talk about that at a later date. So this is the module. So of course, this is where you want to come. You want to come back to the welcome module. You want to come here anytime you want to know what's going on. Come to the welcome module. See if there's a red alert. You'll be able to log in to your Zoom link from here every week. This is a live session. Things happen. So understand, the Zoom link, it may change. The Zoom day, it may change. I will never make the Zoom day earlier, but I may make the Zoom day later. Stuff happens. This class is actually scheduled right now. Allergies, man, wow. This class is scheduled right now for 8 o'clock on 8 o'clock p.m. Mondays through 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard. 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Mondays. Things happen. The goal is for this class to be every Monday. But if something happens, either I can't make it or one of the presenters, the main presenter cannot make it, we will probably change it to a following day. The good thing about this class is, one, this is live and interactive. So, you are definitely able to ask questions and interact. But two, the recording will come out. My goal is to have the recording out by Thursday. My goal is to have the recordings out by Thursday of the week that the class was. And it will be posted here in the welcome section. It'll say, this week's class. So if you miss class, you'll still get to watch class. If you can't make it, you'll still get to watch class. But of course, you can't be interactive because you're not in class, right? And I'll say again, if you come to class and you log on live, I do ask that you please turn on your camera. Please turn on your camera. It helps. It just helps, right? I'm not going to beat that dead horse. I think that is pretty much it. If you have any questions on your modules or any questions about modules here in the future, please just let me know. Jobs. Just real quick, let's go over here and let's Google Power BI job salaries. As of April 2024, the average salary for Power BI developer for a Power BI developer in the U.S. was $100,015 with a total compensation of $105,614. The most common salary range between $100,000 and $110,000, but salaries can vary based on experience, location, and skills. 0 to 1 years, $65,000 to $99,000. 1 to 3 years, $72,108, and 4 to 6 years, $78,000 to $116. So what I told you before, quoted you before, was noted before, stated before, however you want to term it, in regards to salaries that are available and within this industry. It's here. Google says it. It's telling you, you're somewhere between $100,000 and $110,000. Google says it, right? All you got to do is learn the skill, right? All you got to do is learn the skill. I'm not gonna build that. I'm not gonna beat that dead horse. So let's go over to just to give you a heads up. We do have a Power of the BI YouTube page. If you can, go over and subscribe, follow, watch the videos. But the goal of the Power of the BI videos is, one, to show you how you can make money in this industry, how you can make money in tech. Show you different projects in tech. It's just stuff in tech. So, and it's pretty much myself presenting. I do plan to have a couple of the guys that are going to be doing some of the presentations with us to join me on live. We can call it a podcast if you want to. I'm not sure, but we're gonna have some things doing on live. But go in and subscribe. Tell your friends about Power of the BI. They've got questions. Please do so. Let's see. Can't get there, so I probably need to close one of these because I can't get behind my button. I'm gonna close this as well. What I want to show you here is these are jobs that I get every week. I mean, like within the last couple of days, just jobs within the industry. We see need SSIS developer, Snowflake, Power BI, immediate hire, Power BI admin, Power BI, SQL developer. These are roles that I get, and what I'm saying is, I am going to commit to not just teaching you the skill set of Power BI, but as we do career readiness and job readiness, put you in a position to where you can go out there and you can start interviewing for those jobs immediately after you complete this course, immediately, and give you some extra sauce in order to make it work. But that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to give you some. I just wanted to show you some things that you could just give you some of the some idea that, I'm not just selling you wolf tickets. I mean, these jobs are available, and you're going to be actually qualified to do more than just Power BI. You're going to be qualified to do some data engineering, some SQL development, and you'll learn more about all of that as we continue through the course. Over here is is Vertibello Academy. Everyone in Vertibello, everyone in Power of the BI will have a Vertibello account. And what Vertibello does is it allows you to develop SQL skills. SQL is structured query language. And basically it's the primary language of business intelligence. So you're not just going to be learning Power BI, you're going to be learning SQL as well. And it's a self-paced course. Basically, it gives you step-by-step what to do. It tells you, hey, this is the first thing you do. This is actually my course. It's a little bit different than the course you're going to be taking, because yours is going to be more of an entry-level basic course. But by the time you get done, you're going to know enough SQL to in the interview and on your resume say, I know SQL. Okay, if you don't know SQL, you're going to learn SQL, right? Primarily because SQL is the base language for DAX, and DAX is data analysis expression, which is the language for Power BI, but DAX is built off of SQL. So if you become good at SQL, you're going to be good at DAX. If you don't become good at SQL, you're going to struggle with understanding why certain things are what they are when it comes to SQL, comes to Power BI. I mean, it comes to DAX. Next thing is, let's see, let's close this so I can get behind there. Of course, this is our website, powerofthebi.com. Again, anyone that wants to know about Power of the BI, please send them to the website. They can come to our free webinar. Shameless plug. I say I don't do plugs, but shameless plug is I do have a book out here called The Six Figure Cheat Code. If you're interested, go pick it up. Six Figure Cheat Code. And that is a Six Figure Cheat Code. Socials. If you're out there on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, email us over dev01@powerofthebi.com. dev01@powerofthebi.com. Email us your socials or follow us on our socials and we will follow you back. Follow us on your socials and we will follow you back. Socials, that helps us get the word out. Resources that we use are resources like Guy in the Cube. Go to YouTube. Guy in the Cube is a resource that we like to use. Not a shameless plug. It's just a good resource. If you want to know if you want to learn something, or there's something that comes up, you don't know how to do it in Power BI, go into YouTube and type. That's what we do. We use resources. Google is a resource that we use. YouTube. Google is a resource that I use, and YouTube is a resource that I use. And of course, YouTube is owned by Google, but I like to get my assistance through visualizations. And you'll see that in this course, there are a lot of YouTube resources that I point you to, because I want you to get used to going to YouTube and grabbing resources. Even there are some resources that I send you to using Google, and I want you to get used to going to resources and finding the answers before you throw your hands up too high, and before you start yelling, screaming, kicking, and saying, I don't know how to do this. Go to the resources and research. And that's one thing that you're going to learn here in this course, is to use your resources. or to use resources or find resources, identify resources. So, again, that has covered pretty much everything that we needed to cover in lesson number 1. Again, you can go to your welcome section in the module, and our Zoom links for our weekly courses are going to be here. You can actually get started in the course now. There's nothing that you need me to do to hold your hand to say, hey, get started. So you can get started in the lesson. If you have any questions, another thing is, if you're on Facebook, definitely send us an email. Definitely send us an email with your social. I mean, not just social, but with your Facebook handle, so that we can send you an invite to the private Facebook group. Send us an email with your Facebook handle, profile, whatever it's called, so that we can send you an invite to the private Facebook group. Again, send us an email so that we can, with your information, your Facebook information, so we can send you an invite to our private Facebook group. You'll see, when you will hear me mention several times in our lessons about going to the private Facebook, or going to the Facebook group to communicate, leave questions, submit questions, get answers, build those relationships with others in the class. Again, the Facebook group is private. You must be invited, and we definitely want all of our students participating. With that said, this has been Zoom lesson number 1 in Power of the BI, and I look forward to seeing you win again next week.